Okay, well, good morning. So let's see, it started. I was born in 1976. I'm 42 years old. I grew up in San Diego, California. I was born in Orlando, but moved to San Diego when I was 2 years old. And grew up there.
You've got some family here today, too.
I do, that's right. Family? Oh, okay, I got Nathan, my stepdad right there, Jeffrey, my husband, my mom, Linda, and my daughter, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly's in town. Hi, Kelly. Good to see you and meet you finally. Yeah.
So, anyway, and my little one on the way.
And the little one
Haley
is
May. Haley May.
Haley May is on the way. I like that. Yeah.
All right.
So, San Diego, now there's two different lifestyles in San Diego. There's the beach and then there's inland. Which
Right.
one, where were you growing up?
I was growing up in the beach side, so there is two differences in that as far as party life goes. Well, there's party in both areas, but I think there's a little bit different cultures, I believe, in some sort.
So you're more of like an ocean girl, surfer?
Not surfer so much. My family, my sister and my mom and my uncle, definitely surfers. So we did grow up by the beach because of that. But I got basically hung out with long-haired pothead guys, people out there. So, bicycles, skateboards, that type of scene.
Yeah.
The surfing crowd was a little bit different.
And since I know you have wonderful things to say about your mom, I'm gonna embarrass her by letting you talk. Tell us about your mom back then. We want to know what she was like.
My mom, wonderful mom. We are best friends ever since I was little, except I kind of fell away for a minute when I was a teenager, cutting up and getting in trouble. But my mom and I were really close, are really close today still. And she is more of a hippie, down-to-earth type. We grew up listening to the Beatles, Donovan, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And I'm very grateful for that because I had a really good, a lot of good memories with that. And I still today listen to some of that music.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you had one lifestyle from your mom, and then your birth dad is the opposite.
Right. Now, my dad, Bill, he's more New Age, military, Navy. Never got into the 60s crowd. He was more military. So it was a little bit different there.
Was he more of a disciplinarian, like this, this is right, this is wrong?
He was like that, and actually my sister and I'd be scared to even talk to because not that he would hurt it, but he's more like Yeah, but he's a very good dad, very loving, and he is very intelligent. So he's really good on school, mathematics and whatnot.
So you got off to a great start.
Yeah.
You got two opposite parents who both loved you, and you got along with them.
Now, here's the thing. I didn't grow up in a Christian family, brought up like that. But the morals of the family were really good. So all that was really good. So I don't know if you're going to ask me next.
Yeah. So you grew up on the beach, had a pretty good start to life, but around 13, the beach life started to wear on you, and you started getting into the wrong crowd.
Yeah, I did. I was about 13 years old. I met some friends of mine, and actually a girlfriend of mine named Lisa. We had started hanging out with each other, and she took me to a couple parties, and we started smoking weed and drinking, just off and on. It was just a party thing, nothing serious, nothing going on. No future thought about it at all. And I started hanging out with more and more and more different crowds in San Diego, different people, and it got even heavier and heavier and heavier in the partying. So I started out with marijuana and alcohol, and then it turned into hallucinogenics and methamphetamine.
By the way, I'm going to pause. She's natural up here, isn't she? Very natural.
Well, I'm very nervous, but I like it.
Yeah, no, perfect. You're doing wonderful.
My husband actually gave me something to say that just come from the heart because I just praise the Lord.
Yeah. You said that you went looking for friends. You didn't go looking for drugs now, but because of your friends, those things found you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And
I wrote it down. You said friends were more important than drugs, but
as time went on, drugs became more important than friends, and that's what basically went sour. And if you notice that in life, that's usually what happens when you get older. It seems like everybody kind of falls away. Your friends are separated when you get older, things change. But the people that are using drugs, they end up stealing from each other or whatever, and things get a little bit really bad, like rocky.
Yeah. So you went for friends, and then soon the friends
we're all
falling apart.
Yeah,
'cause
falling
of the
apart.
drugs.
Everybody's starting to get a little scandalous on each other. You can't trust anybody.
Yeah. Now, some of us have used drugs or alcohol, and some of us know the harshness, but some of us haven't.
Right.
So you said that to help us understand what the drugs did to your mind, that one time you were standing in the kitchen and you had no idea what to do.
Well,
Tell us that story.
so this is partly drug use, and also I'll go to get into this a little bit more about that I developed, or actually had a pre-existing mental disability that we found out later on. But with the drug use, it did enhance it. So I was in the kitchen one day, and literally my mom was there, and she witnessed. I literally forgot how to make a peanut butter sandwich. And at that moment, I didn't, the stupidity, that time, I was unaware, of what was going on, what was happening to me. I'm intelligent, but, the mental illness blocks that sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have a difficult time, especially focusing and stuff, but I do the best I can. I'm sorry.
Let's just move into a higher
I'm sorry.
spot. Yeah. That way we don't
So anyways, that was a really hard time, but we're getting to the good part. But
and that kind of begins the fear in life.
Right.
Life was pretty hard.
Yeah,
during that time.
so it started there, and so I gotten help through my mom and others to put me in a sober living home in San Diego called Home Stretch. And while I was there, things were different. I was willing. I didn't know what was going on. I was just scared. I was willing to stay clean and learn a little bit about things. However, it was difficult to live in a normal life, normal way. I wasn't always that retarded, to not make a peanut butter sandwich, but there are moments of that, different moments of
kind of ups and downs.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah,
at that.
things could be going fine, all of a sudden you don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So
scary.
at times, it was really hard.
Yeah.
So what happened, if you want to know,
By 17, you said you were at the Naval Hospital, right? What did they
no,
diagnose
not
you with?
17. I was 18,
18.
turning 19. I was turning
Okay.
19. So what happened was at this Home Stretch, when I got admitted, or my mom took me there and stuff, a couple of months later, I had a full episode. Now, the mental illness I'm talking about is I developed, and we found out I had schizophrenia, which entails audio and visual hallucinations, which can be pretty dark and pretty gnarly. Different schizophrenics experience different things, but a lot in the same. So I don't know, it's individual differences, but a lot of it's the same kind of story or things that they deal with.
And I want the crowd to know that I've told Elaine she doesn't have to share anything she doesn't want to, because you've actually said that it's so dark and so scary that you're not comfortable even sharing it, because it's just so...
Yeah, there's no way I'll go into detail about the things that I've seen and gone, not too detailed in that.
But at the Navy Hospital, your mom came and visited you at one point.
No, the people at the sober living I was getting at, I had the full-on, I broke out into an episode, my first episode. They drove me to Naval Hospital because I was, actually I think, I was 18. So at the age 19, I was unable to go because my dad was in the Navy. So once I turned 19, my insurance there was bad. So I was there during that time at 18, almost turning 19, so I was able to go. Thank God for that place. That place helped me so much. I was there, admitted for 3 months. I was inpatient in there. And I had a doctor actually tell my mom one time, I'm not coming back. she's not coming back. She's going to be gone. Yeah, and with the grace of God, the medicine today, they started learning more and more about disabilities, brain dysfunctions, disabilities, and at that time they started making medication. So I took, which was called Haldol and Cogentin, which is a new medication for schizophrenia. That was a miracle drug. At that moment, when I started taking that with therapy, everything, I came to more.
And you said the entire timing was providence. If you had been diagnosed a year earlier or so, that was the time period where they would lock you up forever.
Yeah.
And it was like God had this come right at the perfect time where there was treatment.
I absolutely do believe that. It was timing, absolutely. Yeah. God's timing has worked in my whole life, come to find out. So anyways, yeah, I was admitted there, where I stayed there for 3 months, but I was able to get out of there, and through difficult times ever since 19, getting out of there, through it all the way to age 23, I've been in and out of institutions, hospitals.
You said almost every other month, basically.
Every other month I was hospitalized. I had been in jail a few times, 3 times. I don't remember if it was 3 or 4 times, but I never stayed longer than 8 days in jail. It was just a misdemeanor thing, being under the influence, but even they helped me out. So, just I'm just going to get kind of not too into it, but during that time, from 19 to 23, I had episodes blown up many times, and that's why I was admitted. It wasn't always, but mostly was because I relapsed on drugs. I did try to stay sober. I stayed sober little parts of my life. It got very dark. My illness wasn't so demonic, but it turned out that way when I turned 19. So I struggled with this battle for a long time and tried different kind of medications over and over. So
so I wrote down, Mom was by your side, life was up and down. Doctors, though they treated you with medicine, they really didn't have hope for you. Mm. But you said you knew, even at that time, someone was holding your hand.
That's right. So really, this is honest truth. Through that time, I did not really know Jesus at the moment, but I knew him in my heart or somewhere. And he always was there for me, always. And I've been through a lot of dark times. I've walked through a lot of places, and he always was there every time. He never left me nor forsake me, and that message, when I read the Bible, got to know a little bit about Jesus, that's one verse that he could tell me that I knew that was true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? We'll get back to that part of the story in a moment, but basically you're saying you didn't know his name, but you knew him.
Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. Right. So during that time, you had told me that the schizophrenia was not good for the drugs were not good for the schizophrenia.
Absolutely not, no. Bad all around. Yeah.
Bad recipe.
That's right.
And then, to add to that recipe, you met a guy in AA.
Yes, I did.
Tell us about that relationship.
No, his name was Mark. I was about 20 years old. We got married, and we had a daughter, Kelly, which my ex-husband, or Mark, he was a wonderful man. Unfortunately, we relapsed together, drank one day, and it just went from there. When I got pregnant, I didn't know I was pregnant till 4.5 months with my daughter. I was partying off and on, but at 2 months, come to find out, I just quit drinking. I quit doing drugs, and there was no reason for it. I just didn't feel like doing it.
Because God was there.
God was there. He did. He took the relief of wanting to do it. Then I found out I was pregnant. I go, oh, okay. Well, so that's kind of showing you that he's always helping me without because I don't have maybe the strength, so he just pulls me into, this is what you're doing, and I love that. But my husband, we had some falling outs and didn't work out. The marriage didn't work out, unfortunately. But yes,
because of drugs, alcohol, the whole bit.
Yeah.
So it was just a bad time.
No, he knew about Christianity. So right before that, let me get into how my sister Carmen, she's the one that basically brought Christianity into our family, I believe. My mom knew. I guess she went to church when she was younger with my grandmother, her mom, and but my sister started going to the Rock Christian Fellowship in San Diego, California. I attended a few times, and that's where I very first heard Jesus and knew that this is all good. It was just beautiful. I knew that it was true.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Your sister, who isn't here today, but by the way, is going to be within the next few days our next door neighbor. She's
That's
moving
right.
in right here.
Yeah,
right
she is right across the street. So hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Lord willing, she'll.
So you said that I said to you, so you finally found out about Jesus, and you're like, no, I knew Jesus, I just didn't know his name.
Well, in a sense, not to be boastful, but no, it was just that's what he did. Like,
it was beautiful. Like
it was just normal. Like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You said it wasn't a surprise, it wasn't a mystery, it wasn't like
no,
this revelation.
It was almost,
wow, there's a God who knew.
It was like, okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it was just calm. It was like, yeah, I knew that it was his name. It's almost like, yeah, he told me before or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you said to me, it was like the name was the last puzzle piece, but you had the rest of the puzzle all together.
Right, and I had no knowledge of the Bible. However, I knew a lot about demonic stuff about it because that's what the voices would tell me, and that's one thing I don't reveal so much.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah.
So you said by the age of 20. You were probably at your lowest. What was taking place in your 20s, or at 20?
At 20, what?
You tried to end light. Your
oh
light.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did. Couple of occasions I have tried to take my life away, and only under the circumstance because I couldn't go through with it. I couldn't go through the mental tormenting of my illness, and it got so scary at times that I just didn't want to live through it. So I tried to end my life. When I was with Mark, I tried to kill myself by taking a bottle of pills, the whole thing. These pills that I had, and my husband made me throw them up, and he called the ambulance. I went there, and I survived, and there's a reason for that, and
Amen. Amen.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, and at a later time when I was with Jeff as well.
Yeah, and the reason we share the stories of where you tried to end your life, you said that again, as you were healing, you felt a hand holding yours.
That's right. Yeah, he's always been there. I know this, for sure.
You said that there was a word that kept going on in your mind, and that was just. That he was just. He was fair with you.
Yeah. No. Yeah. With that word, it's hard to explain. It just means fair. That he is just. That he is calm. That he means. When he said just to me, when that word came to me, it made me calm and still. And I don't know why, but just the soft voice of that just made me, it's just a beautiful word, just. And I do like that a lot.
Yeah, it was our...
He's fair, yeah, everything's just, everything's good, it's all good.
Yeah, we talked about that in Sabbath school this morning.
Yeah.
That God was merciful and just.
That's right.
Yeah, his mercy and justice. So throughout this time, how did he keep his promise for you to never leave you nor forsake you?
Now, because through just faith, coming to know him little by little, and then eventually just I'm still learning a lot, especially about prophecy and whatnot. But to learn about his love, the love immediately just drew me to him. That's what really draws me very close to him. And
life was dark. It was
very
hard,
dark.
it
Yeah,
was
at times,
demonic
at times, you know, I kind of felt like very weak. That maybe, you know, I was unsure for a moment. You know, there, if I was safe. However, the fear, but somewhere in me, I would have to have faith that I'm going to be okay, faith that I will never leave you nor forsake you. Just keep knowing that. And he has brought me out of so much chaos several times, but this time is different, I believe. And I want to say that because I think it has to do with this church. Things are a lot better, more clear, because I've been through so many different churches, but the message was never very clear for me all the way. And just knowing that this church, I've been watching 3ABN, and it just sounds so true. And it's in the Bible, everything's written. I'm very excited about that. So
you have that foundation now. You know where the source of your peace is.
And honestly, I do believe that was his plan. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do really believe that.
So you have personally lived the promise of that verse. That in the you know, almost like David's psalm. You know, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. You've been there.
No evil. That's right.
Yeah, and God has been right there with you the whole time.
That's right. And I had to just do that, and knowing that he is with you, the deepest, darkest, anywhere, he's always with you.
Yeah. So you went through these difficult years, ended up back in sober living facility, and you went over, and I hope I can read my writing correctly, you went over to meet with some friends. Their names were, was it Ron or Dan and Ryan?
Dan and Ryan.
Dan and Ryan.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was with some people. It was later on. I was 23 years old. It was after I had my daughter, after everything. And things started getting a little bit better at that time, right after that. So
because while you were hanging out with Dan and Ryan, you got tired.
I got tired.
You went to go lay down.
They were playing video games. I was in the room with them, and I laid down, and I happened to.
You didn't pick Dan's room. You didn't pick Ryan's room. You picked someone else's room.
It was the room. It was Ryan's room. They were roommates.
But you picked someone's bed.
Someone's bed. That's right.
Yes.
I was laying there, and I was just laying there, and somebody walked in the door and goes, "Who's laying on my bed? Who's this chick laying on my bed?"
And who was that?
Jeffrey, my husband. Yeah. But yeah, and ever since then, everything got way better. Ever since.
Yeah, we're gonna keep talking about that story.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna have some ups and downs, but God was continually with you.
Absolutely.
No matter what.
I believe that was his plan as well.
Yeah.